In this video, I'm going to talk about missing good setups. If you're missing good setups, stay tuned. Are you missing good setups? Are you letting those good trades run on without you? Are you not pulling the trigger? What's happening? How are we going to try and get to the root of this problem of missing the good trades? Great, thank you very much. We had a message in from a subscriber, a viewer, appreciate it. And we've had other comments on this before. Great time to do a video about it. Keep missing those good setups. I keep not getting on board them. Why do I do it? How can I kind of overcome this obstacle? Okay, so I appreciate all comments and messages, by the way. Thank you for sending those in. The first thing to do is to look at and say to yourself, okay, why am I missing these trades? Is it, number one, am I missing the trade as in I suddenly look and I see a chart that has done a setup which I like and I've missed it? Or is it number two, am I not pulling the trigger? In other words, I keep missing it because I don't pull the trigger. I see it, it's there, and I kind of hesitate, and then it goes without me. Those are two distinct different problems. And like any of our kind of solution a focused way of improving our trading, which is what I'm a big advocate of. And if you kind of checked out any of my other videos, you'll see that's what I'm all about. And a good time to kind of say, guys, if you like this stuff, subscribe to it for more videos from me and other guys on this channel. That's what we're all about here, making ourselves better traders as one. So you kind of look at it both. Is it because I'm missing it and I'm not being aware of it? Or is it because I'm just hesitating and not pulling the trigger? So the thing we have to look at now is redefining our trading plan. And we need to say to ourselves, all right, let's look at what the plan is telling me. So if I am missing the trade, I need to sort out my filters, well, filters especially really, not necessarily triggers so much, but my filters. In other words, how am I being presented with these trades? What is my method for finding these trades? Am I literally sitting in front of the screen all day waiting for them to appear to me if I'm day trading? Do I have an alert process in place that kind of fires up some sort of moving average crossover or whatever it may be as kind of an initial filter, and then I eyeball through the charts? Do I have a set period of time in the day where I'm scanning through charts? What is my process and why are these great trades slipping through the net? And if you're finding great trades slipping through the net, it's a case of understanding why that's happening and adding the filters in place. So like I say, guys, if you're swing trading, perhaps the best thing, let's say for example your filter is I want to have a moving average crossover, they want to see a first pullback and a bullish engulfing candle. Yes, you could program that all into some kind of charting package and alert you, but it might be too late by then. So maybe you take the first two filters, like, I don't know, an oversold market, this or that, the other, and you then have technology present those to you, and then you can eyeball them and be prepared and say, actually, you know what, it's coming close to it, I need to keep an eye on this. Or you're buying at support, for example, instead of setting your alert at the support level, you set your alert kind of a little bit above it so that it's on your watch list ready for the support level so it doesn't come down, tag it, fires off before you're even aware of it. Just being ahead of the curve in that process. If maybe you have to add a little bit of time in the middle of the day to filter for stuff, perhaps if you're swing trading, a lot of the things are doing their setups intraday and you're checking too late in the day, maybe you need to add that kind of hour in the day if possible to kind of scan for it. So that really addresses the problem of not seeing the trade that's part of your setup. And again, just redefining your plan to really confirm that it is a setup that you have in your plan. Because it's very easy to say to yourself, okay, well, I've missed that great trade. Look at that, it's fired off without me. It was a great double bottom. And you look at it in hindsight, you kind of look at this chart and say, well, look at that. It was textbook. Why did I not take that? And you can't say that unless that's in your trading plan. If your trading plan is saying, okay, I will take double bottoms on a market after a strong move in a pullback, whatever it may be, then you've missed it, then you need to do adjustments. You can't say to yourself, I missed it, if you haven't got a plan to get on the end of it. And if you haven't got a plan to get on the end of it, maybe now's the time to develop that strategy, which involves being alerted to these trades and then obviously a trigger method for actually pulling the trigger on the trade. Okay, so now the next thing we're looking at is not pulling the trigger. So in other words, we've talked about if you're missing the trades just purely because you're not being presented them to you, and the solution for that is to make sure you've got it in your trading plan, number one, and improve your filtering process, number two, to get those in front of your eyes as quick as possible. Finally, just before we move on, just kind of came to my mind. One thing as well with that filtering is not having it so loose that you're being presented with so much stuff all the time. I've made that mistake, guys. You know, stuff's firing at me all the time. You end up discarding the lot. You're better off missing loads and just being presented with the very best opportunities. All right, let's move on. Number 2, not pulling the trigger. So are you missing the great setups and the best setups because they're being presented to you, or you're seeing them, you're day trading, whatever it may be, but you're not pulling the trigger? That's a different thing to address altogether. If that's the case, then you need to kind of look at this. First of all, are you testing? What I mean by that is, if you've got a setup or strategy, if you are not pulling the trigger, you don't generally, I'm going to make a big assumption here and a big leap, but I know this is generally the case for most people, as I've been there myself. If you're not pulling the trigger, it's really because you don't believe the power or the kind of strength of the strategy you've got. You don't believe it enough. Either you're risking too much and you're making you nervous, or you don't think you're going to make any money on it. You've got that uncertainty. You need to get that out of your mind and say, okay, I believe this is going to work for me. I've got proof of it. Look, I've got my track records to say that this strategy is working. If I tweak my trades accordingly, blah, blah, whatever it may be. Convincing yourself that it's the right thing to do for your long-term success. Now, I've put here, are you testing? Because it also makes sense that if it's a new strategy for you, and you're testing it with small size, then you need to say to yourself, well, I need to take all of these because I need to have the data to test and maybe adjust my stop, tweak my target, whatever it may be. So whatever it is, whether you've got track record that says this is the right strategy for you, or it's the right setup for you, or whether you're testing out something new, you need to have that conviction to be able to pull the trigger. And if you struggle with that, the simple kind of quick fix is just dial down the size. Dial down the size to very, very small. You can always work on pulling it up later, but just work on this problem of not pulling the trigger, which is get the size down, get convinced this is the right thing to do for you, not be concerned about each individual trade. Again, the uncertainty, accepting that, and that sometimes comes with having too much size, but just having something in place that says, okay, I've got my filter, I've got my trigger, I'm going to take the trade. 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 Not going to damage me. It's not a problem. I'm just doing my job here. So if you keep missing the good setups, summary is, number 1, is it because you're missing the trade? It's not being presented to you in the right time. You're not got your alerts set up. You're not got your filters, whatever it may be. Quite a simple kind of operations thing to fix. Number 2, you're not pulling the trigger. So you see the setups, they're presented to you, watching the screen, whatever it may be. You're not pulling the trigger. Go back to your plan, redefine it, refine it, should I say. You really drill down into it, reduce the risk if you need to, and just work on that one thing of pulling the trigger on the setup. Pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Say to yourself, my goal is to take this setup for 20 times over the next month or whatever it may be. That's your goal. Forget about making money, forget about this, forget about that. Get your plan, get your strategy, get your risk management, pull the trigger 20 times, and then see how you get on. Hopefully that proof, even if you've lost money on that group of setups and you can tweak it, at least you know that you're exercising the muscles of actually pulling the trigger on that setup. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, thumbs up, comments in the comment section below. As always, and love your messages, love your comments, all good. I really enjoy reading those. Take care, good trading, see you in the next one. Goodbye.